minutes until airtime for this live show broadcast. Your next time cue will come with 3 minutes until airtime on the Georgia Southern Sports Network. Mark 3 minutes until airtime for this live show broadcast. Your next time cue will come with 2 minutes until airtime on the Georgia Southern Sports Network. Your next time cue will come with 2 minutes until airtime. Stations, if you encounter any technical issues related to this live show broadcast, please call our trouble hotline at 573-893-7477. Mark 2 minutes until airtime for this live show broadcast. Studio producers, when you hear, please start your archive recording. Your next time cue will come with 1 minute until airtime for today's live show broadcast on the Georgia Southern Sports Network. Stations, we are coming up on 1 minute until airtime. 1 minute in 5, 4, 3, 2, Mark. 1 minute, stations. 1 minute until airtime for this live show broadcast. Studios, when you hear, please start your archive recording. Coming up on 30 seconds until airtime, on my mark. Mark, 30 seconds. Your next and final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds. Have fun.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Georgia Southern Sports Network. On the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield, presented by Morris Bank, this is Hail Southern Live.
Glory to God and a bunch of great kids. Is college football not the best thing on earth?
Live at Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Hot wings, cold beer, and good times. Coming up, your all-access pass into Georgia's Southern Athletics. Hail Southern Live is brought to you by Morris Bank. Bleed blue, bank blue. Morris Bank, member FDIC. The Georgia Lottery. Today could be the day. And by Savannah Hilton Head International Airport and the Savannah Airport Commission. Make sure to tweet your questions to @GS Sports Network. Now let's head live inside Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Here's the voice of the Eagles, Danny Reed.
Eagle Nation, it is great to see you again. Back one more time at Wild Wing Cafe for Hail Southern Live, presented each week by Morris Bank on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield. Going to do things a little bit differently tonight with Georgia Southern football on the bye week. We will talk some Eagle men's and women's basketball a little bit later on, but how special was last Saturday night at Paulson Stadium? Record crowd, 26,483. And it was even better to watch an Eagle victory, 38-28 over Coastal Carolina. Georgia Southern into the bye week at 4-1, 1-0 in conference play. The opponent, James Madison, 2 Saturdays from now on October the 14th. They are also on the bye week, but it was announced earlier today. Not only will that be a noon kick up in Harrisonburg, but Georgia Southern and the Dukes will be playing on ESPN2 on that Saturday afternoon. You can listen to us beginning at 10 a.m. with the Cutwater Spirits Tailgate Show. One of the guys that will be part of that show is sitting to my left. We'll talk slightly football. We'll talk Eagle Nation Collective. You know him by now. Eagle Nation, give it up for Kyle Vantrease.
Thank you.
You know, it's a different year for you. Last year, 4,200 yards passing, by far set the school record. You've had to deal with us as the sideline reporter on the network. You've been working with Leonard Bevel and the Eagle Nation Collective. So for you, what's it been like wearing some different hats as opposed to a helmet?
It's been a lot of fun. I've been learning a lot. Obviously, I wish I was out there on the field still slinging the football around. And that's not out of question right now. I'm still training, still throwing 2 to 3 times a week, hoping for an opportunity. But in the meantime, being back in Statesboro and getting a chance to learn from you and Danny and Frank, and then also Lenny on the collective side of things, it's been a lot of fun. And also to be around Eagle Nation and back on the field and to be able to experience last Saturday night and be on the field for that, it was special.
Yeah, so Terry and I are in the booth trying to figure out what this may feel like for the crowd, for the players on the field. You're on the field in your capacity, but to be around those guys, to watch the third quarter to fourth quarter overlap with the blue strobe and the flashlights, an awesome setting, I would imagine, but just to feel it, what was that like? Yeah,
like I said on the post-game show, there was a couple of times on Saturday where I just took the headset off and listened, and that was probably a couple times where you said something to me and I just completely didn't hear it. But that was one of those moments, and I took it off and just listened and watched, and it was super special. It was unbelievable to have all of those fans in there being as loud as they were with those lights, and it was awesome. And you could see the energy just kind of seep into the guys on the field as well. As an athlete, you don't really pay attention to that stuff when you're on the field, right. But when you're in a timeout, you kind of take it in just a little bit. And for me to be able to stand on the sideline, not as an athlete, it was super special.
Now, fans, we invite you to submit your questions on Facebook Live. You can tweet us at GS Sports Network. We did get a question from Brant earlier today. Kyle, can you walk us through the challenges of being a transfer quarterback, how you handled that, and how well you think Davis is handling them now?
Yeah, anytime you kind of up and move your life halfway across the country, it's definitely going to be a challenge. But coming to Statesboro with Coach Helton, Coach Ellis, Coach Applin, and the entire staff, and all of the great teammates that we had at this time last year, it was such an easy transition for me. This community is super special. Everybody cares for everybody. Everybody supports everybody. And there was a lot of memories made and things that I'll never forget for the rest of my life. And I know that right now Davis is going through the same thing, and he's handling it extremely well. He's out there. He had one bad game, but guess what? Everybody has that game. He's done an incredible job leading this team offensively and as a whole. And I'm really excited to see how this season goes with him at the helm.
Before spring practice last year, people are trying to tell you what this is like. They're trying to convince you what this is like. Eagle Nation is unlike anything you're ever going to see. You play last year, you're still here. But sitting on this stage on October the 2nd, 2023, can you tell us how much your life has changed in the last year and a half?
I don't even know what's going on, to be honest with you. I don't know what the future holds for me, so I'm just kind of taking it as it comes. And I'm just super, super happy to be back in here and a part of the team, a part of the university, just be in this community. But, obviously it's different. I'm not, at the facility, for 12, 13 hours a day. Watching film, hanging out with the guys, working out, getting treatment. But I'm still up there working out, but it's a completely different mindset where I'm at. But I'm enjoying it, and I'm learning.
With the recent merger announced between the USFL and the XFL, there's that option. You've also got Canada, and then possibly the NFL if somebody wants to come calling. I know you had a couple of mini camps, but as you're trying to prepare for so many different options, what impact does that all have on that?
Yeah, I have an agent who's kind of speaking on my behalf to some of these teams. They're reaching out, trying to get me whether it's a tryout, any kind of opportunity. And I'm not ready to hang it up yet, and it's going to take a lot of people to tell me no, or a medical professional to tell me no. You only are this young. You're only in this good a shape one time in your life. You only get to go and play professional football one time, and I just want to go and strap it up. I don't care about the money. I just want to go and play football. But with the merger, there's a lot of opportunities out there: NFL, XFL, USFL, CFL. So many opportunities out there with so many great organizations. So I'm hoping somebody gives me a shot. I know I've got some left in the tank. So,
with your current role, you not only get a chance to talk about the players that you were teammates with a year ago, talk about the game that you love and that you played for so long, but also working with Lenny and the Eagle Nation Collective, you're directly working with those student athletes in 17 different sports and trying to impact their well-being at the same time. What has that been like?
It's been super cool. It's a lot like being a student athlete still, because you get to go in and interact with all of these different athletes from different walks of life, different sports. But specifically, it's been really cool for me to still be friends and talk with a lot of guys that I really know well on the team, and the guys that are members of the collective right now. It's been super awesome to watch them grow as athletes, as people together, and take the opportunities that NIL has given them. It's been a lot of fun for me to be able to get to know a lot of these people.
It's certainly a financial impact that it's giving male and female student athletes as part of the collective, but when you tie that in with the Apex program, how they're getting these life lessons, preparing them for employment experiences, it really expands on the idea that they are constantly ambassadors, not of just the university, but they're their own brand ambassadors.
Yeah, and this is a little thing that Lenny would always say, Leonard Bevel. He and I are working with this collective together. The students come in with a suitcase, and we want to help them leave with a briefcase.
Yeah.
And Apex is a great program for that. What we're also trying to do is help them learn how to handle money, help them get opportunities, put themselves out there, sell themselves, and also time manage, money manage, and do all of this while being a student athlete, while having such a demanding lifestyle. And as a former student athlete, athletes deserve compensation for what they do. We can't have jobs as athletes. You can't go out there maybe a little bit in the summer, but it's not enough to keep you afloat. The best part about NIL, in my opinion, is the opportunity that it gives student athletes to impact not just them but their families. I didn't have to call my mom and dad and ask them for Venmos so that I can pay my car insurance, or I can go and get a new pair of shoes, or I can go and be a part of something that my friends are all going to go do. So it really just elevates the lifestyle. It elevates how you prepare for the future. So it's been super fun to be on this side of it. Yeah. I got a little bit of it last year on the athlete side, but it's been super fun to learn all about it from this side.
All right, we need the honest answer, and this can be a secret between you and I and everybody else that's sitting here, of course. But when Terry asked you to be the sideline reporter for our broadcast this year, what was your reaction?
It was about that. I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for all that. But, a lot of people have told me I've got a face for radio, so,
That's a really good joke, by the way.
Well, I know.
That's a great joke.
We hear it a lot.
Yeah.
But I was actually really excited once I kind of thought about it a little bit. My dad has always said I've done really good in interviews. I took a speech class in high school to help me with that kind of stuff. If you go back and watch some of my high school interview clips, they're not so great. But
don't think I haven't dived into that a little bit.
Well, you don't have to. But getting into it, kind of learning the ins and outs of what it takes especially for you and Terry and your preparation for game day, and it's a lot of what coaches do, all of the film study, getting to know all these really cool, interesting facts about both sides of the ball, both teams. It's been a lot of fun, and then also after the first now 5 games, I feel a lot more comfortable out there. I feel like I'm starting to be able to express my thoughts and opinions and what I'm seeing out there really well. So it's been so much fun, and there's different facets of football. There's coaching, playing, and commentating. So it's been a lot of fun.
Well, on behalf of Eagle Nation, let me tell you that we appreciate what you've done. We appreciate what you have done, are doing, continue to do. continued success both with these broadcasts and with the Eagle Nation Collective. Appreciate you being yourself. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That is Kyle Vantrease of the Eagle Nation Collective. You can visit them online, eaglenationnil.com, to learn more information about name, image, and likeness. We come back. It's all Georgia Southern basketball. Women's hoops coach Anita Howard comes up on stage to talk about 2023. That's next from Wild Wing Cafe. This is Hail Southern Live, powered by Learfield.
Don't let an injury keep you on the sidelines. So go where the pros go. Optum Orthopedics. They're the official orthopedics and team physicians for Georgia Southern Athletics. Thanks to Optum, our Eagles get the best care on and off the field. The good news is that Optum is here for you too. Located in our community, Optum is the leader in advanced orthopedic care throughout the Southeast. Like the Eagles, you deserve the freedom to soar. With Optum's fellowship-trained orthopedic surgeons, you will. Your team, your community, your freedom. Optum Orthopedics, they're here for you.
It's football time, which turns Sunday and Thursday into the best days of the week. Well, they just got better, because now through October 29th, Keno has 30% higher payouts during bonus hours. Win $500, it becomes $650. The bonus hours are Sunday 1 to 3 p.m. and Thursday 6 to 8 p.m. So play Keno online and anywhere Keno is sold and get 30% higher payouts during bonus hours. Sundays 1 to 3 p.m. and Thursdays 6 to 8 p.m. Only from the Georgia Lottery. Play responsibly.
Did you know that Yancey Rents is a Georgia-owned rental company serving Georgia since 1914? Yancey Rents has excavators, dozers, backhoe loaders, small dump trucks, water trucks, concrete saws, light towers, scissor lifts, and so much more. We've got a huge selection of equipment ready to be rented today. Call 844-YNC-RENT or check us out at yanceyrents.com. With 16 locations around the state and a new expanded lineup of equipment ready to be rented right now, Yancey Rents wants to be your preferred rental supplier in Georgia.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Eagle Nation, we'd love to see you back at Paulson, this time for back-to-back games in 6 days. Join us for homecoming versus ULM, 2 p.m. Saturday the 21st, then Thursday the 26th at 7:30 as the Eagles battle Georgia State. Call 1-800-GSU-WINS or visit gseagles.com/tickets. Watch the blue and white inside the prettiest little stadium in America. That's ULM for homecoming Saturday the 21st at 2 p.m., then Georgia State Thursday the 26th at 7:30. gseagles.com/tickets to get yours or call 1-800-GSU-WINS. Eagle Nation, tune in to Inside Georgia Southern Football each Monday, 11 a.m. on ESPN+, and watch locally on WJCL, Saturday at 11:30 a.m. Our weekly 30-minute dive into Eagle football features head coach Clay Helton looking back at the week before and previewing the week ahead. It's football season, and your inside look is each Monday, 11 a.m. on ESPN+, and Saturdays at 11:30 on WJCL. Inside Georgia Southern Football with head coach Clay Helton. Don't miss it.
The passion.
He's going to take it to the house. Dinner's cooking. Touchdown.
The fury.
Getting blitzed. Down he goes.
The speed.
40, there he goes. Down the sideline.
Western College football.
For the end zone. Got it for 6 points. You cannot hitch the wagon. Put the ponies in the barn. Back to the end zone. 20.
This is the College Football Blitz. Listen all season long on College Sports Now on the Varsity Network.
College sports fans now have access to hundreds of weekly podcasts that zero in on the college sports world. Now available in the Varsity Podcast Network and part of the new Varsity app. The app is free and available from wherever you get your favorite apps. Download the Varsity app today to have access to hundreds of national podcasts as well as your favorite team-focused podcasts. The Varsity Podcast Network, now available for free on the Varsity app. Download from the App Store and listen today.
This is Hail Southern Live, powered by Learfield, live at Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Here's Danny Reed.
Say hey to our live people.
Hail Southern Live continues from Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Terry Harvin, ladies and gentlemen. David Neville's also here, head track and field coach. Give a round of applause for David Neville. Outstanding start they're off to. Just finished third over the weekend at the A6 Invite in Morrow, Georgia, hosted by Clayton State. They have the Eagle Invitational over at Eagle Field coming up 2 weeks from now, but we promised basketball, and basketball we have. We're going to talk women's basketball for the next 20 minutes or so off their best season in 2 decades, now in her 5th season leading the squad. Give it up for women's head basketball coach Anita Howard.
Come on, y'all. Come on. Thank you.
Back-to-back winning seasons, 39 wins combined. You go 21-10 a year ago. What clicked last season?
We got a little older.
Okay.
We got a little wiser.
That
we
always
got
helps.
a little stronger. That's a whole song. Older, stronger, wiser, better. But we're understanding the system finally. We're understanding how to play together. We're understanding how good we can be when we work together. And we're just figuring it out. So it's, you know, I've had 4 years to help them figure it out, and I think they're doing a good job of working together and cutting down our mistakes.
Anybody that watches your brand of basketball knows that it's very fast, but how would you describe ultimately what you're trying to do on both ends of the floor?
Organized chaos.
Okay.
So it may look chaotic to the new fan or the naked eye, but there's a system to our madness. So we want to try to score within the first 6 seconds of our offense. We want the fans to have fun. I really don't want to walk the ball up the floor. I'm not a boring person. If you kind of know me, you know I don't like anything boring. So we want to have fun with basketball. We want to, you know, every second matters to us. We want to make sure we're doing something every second. And so whether that's defensively or offensively, we want to be attacking our opponent. We want to put pressure on our opponent defensively. It's called swarmification. It's a swarming and suffocating defense.
I know the dictionary just added about a couple hundred new words. I don't know if that was in there or not.
Well, coin it here at Georgia Southern.
Okay.
Swarmification
Okay.
is Coach Howard's term.
Okay.
But swarmification on defense, organized chaos on offense.
When you're
See? It's electric. Boogie, woogie, woogie. I guess we shocked the system, you know?
There is exactly one person that is in this restaurant that just did that. Exactly one.
You okay?
Just terrific. Are you okay?
I'm blessed and highly favored, yeah. I like a good wake 'em up kind of moment.
When you are trying to score in the first 6 seconds of any possession, what is necessary for the kind of player that you're trying to recruit to do that?
The never stop. So, you know, it's funny, Georgia Southern, one of our staple statements is one more time.
Okay.
We always want to get the ball in as quick as we can, one more time, quicker than the last possession. So we always want to keep our opponents on our toes. And so that means whoever's taking the ball out, or if we get a steal, is understanding that we want to make a quick turnaround and put pressure on our opponent's transition defense. And we don't want to waste time. And so if we can score off our post player running to the rim, we want to hit them really quick. If our point guard is not picked up, we call it a road runner. We want her to keep the ball and push it down our opponent's throat. So everyone is understanding of their role and their assignment. And so it takes a lot of hard work and dedication and practice, but I think we're understanding what that looks like every possession.
You know, the comment you made a little earlier about getting older, you've got your point guard back one more time, Janiyah Lovehill, 3rd in the league in assist to turnover ratio last year. She gets a chance to do it one more time.
Yeah.
Having the facilitator of a fast offense, what more does that mean to the team?
I mean, it's amazing. We call her the brain. So she is the brain of our organization.
Heard that before.
And for her to be able to come back for a 5th year is funny because she was talking about she feel like she's 80 years old. I mean, she's been playing for a long time. She knows the system. She knows what we want. So she's able to help me articulate that to the new players that we have on our roster, but also reiterate it to our returners. And so it's kind of a calmness that it brings the head coach when you have a player that's been around the program for now her 5th year.
On the other side, it's one of the most valuable players in the entire league. She was first-team all-conference last year, led the league in scoring, was 5th in rebounding. Taryn Ward has a chance to go down as one of the best that's ever done it at Georgia Southern.
Yeah, who is that?
Taryn Ward. Jessup, Georgia, Wayne County, I believe.
Jessup, but she'll tell you she's from Atlanta. Yes. It's funny because Janiyah and Taryn, Janiyah has the opportunity to be an all-time assist record at Georgia Southern.
Yeah.
And Taryn Ward has an opportunity to break the scoring record here. And so the biggest thing that those two have done for our program is not lead us in those statistical categories, but just staying here and not going into the portal, but pouring into True Blue and what that looks like. And so Taryn is a phenomenal player. She's grown to become one of our better leaders. And it's taken some time. It's taken all 4 years.
When you combine the overall record with the fact that you went 12-6 in conference last season, you swept a JMU team that ended up winning the tournament last year, what's going to make the difference for Georgia Southern to get back to the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, we can't let up. So this summer I thought we were practicing a little bit complacent. You have that when you have your veteran rosters, your older rosters. But we had to lock back in. We just did a team retreat in Hilton Head last weekend. I thought it was phenomenal. And we talked about how we need to lock in and be better, not when the games come around, but we need to be better in practice. We need to go to sleep. We need to eat better. And so we're meeting with our nutritionists. We're loving the weight room with our strength and conditioning coach. And so understanding what it looks like outside of just those 40 minutes during the game day.
How would you describe the roster that you're going to put on the floor this year?
Ooh, exciting. The roster is going to be exciting, y'all. We've added 5 newbies to our returners. We pretty much have all of our scoring back. Janiyah was our second leading scorer that's coming back. Taryn was our first. But we bring our rebounding back. We're bringing our defense back with Simone James. We're bringing our height back with Lydia Friedman. But we got 5 new players that we've joined to the roster. So we got a big, long guard forward in Zaria out of Houston, Texas. She's coming from a junior college, Gulf Coast. But she went to University of Virginia out of high school. And then we got Liv Fuller. We got 2 freshmen. Liv Fuller out of Florida. Y'all are going to love her. She does not care about scoring, but she's going to take a charge, block a shot, rebound. She does all the dirty work. So she is a true blue freshman, and she's coming off of an ACL, but we're excited to have her and our other freshman, Kanaja Daniels. They call her Fat, so if y'all hear her say Fat, she's not fat at all. She's super slim, but that's her nickname. Torian Stark, she actually played for my husband out at East Georgia State College, junior college, and she's fast as lightning. So if y'all thought Janiyah Lovehill was fast, wait till y'all see Torian Starks. And then Kayla Thomas, she's a big force on the inside, transfer from Penn State. And so those 5 newbies are blending really well with what we're returning already.
What's the reaction of the team when you tell them the first practice is going to be at midnight?
Well, we have some old ladies on our team, like a Janiyah. Yeah. They know they have to get to bed a little bit early, but we're used to it. It's all about striking first, and they understand that we want to do everything on the one. We don't, when we break down in a huddle, we don't say 1, 2, 3. We say 3, 2, 1. And so the midnight practice is just that, being the first to do it, being the first to get out on the floor.
Like that.
We don't stay out there long, but we just send the message that we want to be the first.
We come back from this timeout. We'll talk a little bit more women's basketball with head coach Anita Howard, men's head coach Charlie Henry coming up a little bit later on. Basketball week here on Hail Southern Live will continue right after this, presented each week by Morris Bank on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield.
Yellowwood knows that a 5-star backyard is the place to make lasting memories, like roasting marshmallows on a cool fall night. That's it. Turn it nice and slow. Get it toasted all... Oh, no, it's on fire. Oh, you want it on fire. Okay, that's a choice, I guess. Crunchy. For 5-star backyards and the most memorable experiences, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have that yellow tag, you don't want it.
Your cargo transportation choice in Savannah and the Southeast. For freight management, consolidation, warehousing, and more, including flexible and responsive drayage solutions. Your success is our final destination. Savannah Logistics Group.
A logistics company that strives to deliver the best drivers, employees, and customer experience through our core values of empowerment, innovation, and consistency. Savannah Logistics Group, a proud supporter of Georgia Southern Athletics.
On game day, success starts with a great game plan. No matter if you're at home or on the road, greatness starts here with the Ford F-150 truck. Delivering a rare combination of power and smart technology like the available Class Exclusive Pro Power onboard, Ford F-150 helps make great things possible. See your local Ford dealer and score a great offer on F-150. See owner's manual for important operating instructions. Class is full-size pickups over 8,500 pounds. GVWR.
Hey y'all, this is Michael Felder, co-host of College Sports Now. We're breaking down all the action from around the country every week with new episodes dropping 4 days a week during the football season. We'll look beyond the box score and keep our finger on the pulse of college football from September all the way through the national championship game in January. Listen all season long on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you love to get your favorite podcast. And be sure to follow along on Twitter at CSNowTweets.
Which schools will take home the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup for the 2023-24 college athletics season? You can follow the standings of your favorite school or alma mater at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. That's thedirectorscup.com and L Directors Cup on Twitter. Trophies will be awarded in June 2024 to the winning institutions in all competitive divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
Hey Eagle fans, this is Jared Benko. Renew your basketball season tickets today to watch Charlie Henry's first season leading the Eagles. Prices start at $100 for general admission and $150 for upper reserve. Reserve yours by calling 1-800-GSU-WINS or visit gseagles.com/tickets. Parking passes this season are also available to Earth Russell Fund donors for $100. Experience Georgia Southern basketball in its final full season at Hanner Fieldhouse. Renew your season tickets today. 1-800-GSU-WINS or gseagles.com/tickets.
Powered by Learfield. Welcome back to Hale's Southern Live, presented by Morris Bank. Make sure to tweet your questions to @GS Sports Network. Now, let's return live to Wild Wing Cafe. Once again, here's the voice of the Eagles, Danny Reed.
Hail Southern Live brought to you in part each week by Georgia Power. Georgia Power, a Southern company, continuing with a basketball edition from Wild Wing Cafe just off Fair Road here in Statesboro. Got 10 more minutes with head coach Anita Howard on women's basketball. We'll talk with men's head coach Charlie Henry a little bit later on. If you have any questions this evening, you can tweet us at GS Sports Network or you can submit on Facebook Live. Let's go to Facebook Live. We've got a question coming in from, let's go initials PG on this one, just so we don't completely out this person. Who's your number one fan? Get it right.
God. I know that's my mom. Paulette Laverne Griffin is my number one fan. Y'all will see her at the games. Y'all will see her cheering me on. I know that's who asked the question. She gave me life, and so I love you. I love you, Mama.
That's very well done. Very nice.
Cash at me.
Goes all the way back to Beach High School, or are we talking further back than that?
No, because she was working. Actually, my mom is my number one fan now because she worked so much when I was a player that she's not going to miss a game while I'm coaching. And so I appreciate that now because I actually need it probably more now when I'm crying after these games and dealing with other people's young daughters. I need my mom by my side, and she's always there. But she was working when I was in school, and so shout out to Alfred Eli Beach High School. They just celebrated Coach Ronald Booker's, I think, 70th or 80th birthday, so shout out to my old high school. Go Bulldogs.
Looking at the schedule, you've got your first two at home. You open up with Allen on November the 7th at 6 p.m., part of the MAC Sunbelt Challenge. Eastern Michigan comes down to Hanner Fieldhouse on the 11th. That's that Saturday at 2 p.m. But then 2 days later in Athens, get a chance to renew a rivalry. First time since 2018 that Georgia Southern is playing the Georgia Bulldogs on the women's side.
Yeah, how about those Eagles?
How about those Eagles?
How about those Eagles? We need you guys there in Athens with our true blue on so we don't see that sea of that ugly color, red or pink or whatever it is.
I think that's what it is.
But yeah, November the 13th, we're taking on Georgia. They had a phenomenal year last year, and so we're looking to kind of see if our veteran squad is ready to take on yet another Power 5 opponent within our state of Georgia. And so we're getting ready for that. We actually did a closed scrimmage with them last year, and so we got a little taste of it, but now this is the real deal. So it'll be exciting to see where we fare with them.
You think back a couple of years on opening night, you took down Auburn to open up the season. How does an experience like that help you go into Stegman for the first time in a while?
I think it helps us a little bit. You know, the nerves are still going to be high. You know, when you go into, you know, an arena like that, you know, your nerves are, you know, at probably 1,000. But because we were able to go into Auburn and take them down at home, we have a lot of those young ladies still on the roster that were able to accomplish that. So I think, you know, that's one feather in our hat that we can take down there and know that it's possible. If we believe it and we compete, that will make it a really interesting ball game.
All right, I want you to tell me what a turkey throwdown is.
A turkey throwdown, we're actually hosting our own Thanksgiving tournament here inside Hanner Fieldhouse. And so we'll have a lot of teams come down, but we get to play 2 games during the Thanksgiving holidays, November the 24th through the 25th. So bring your families, bring your leftovers, and kind of help us throw down inside Hanner.
And one of the special games every year on the calendar, the annual field trip game, an 11 a.m. tip. It shakes Hanner from its foundation. This year it's on December the 14th. You get that 11 a.m. tip against Charleston Southern. What makes you excited about games like that?
You know what? When we have our kids game, our field trip game, our players genuinely feel like celebrities. There's nothing like thousands and thousands of children yelling for your school, right? And so I always say, make sure the children cheer for us, because they're just going to cheer for any basket. So we want to make sure that we're putting the ball in the basket more than our opponents and that cheer for us. But we'll go out and do community service so they get to know the players, and so they have kind of an intimate relationship with different players. So it's funny, Lydia Friedman last year had a whole section chanting 55, 55. And so it makes our players feel like, big-time celebrities for that game.
Now, on the back end of that MAC Sunbelt Challenge, mentioned that Eastern Michigan will be here on November the 11th, but the back end, you'll be on the road to a MAC school on February the 10th. You won't know who that school is until about maybe a month before. They need to look at the net rankings before they divvy out those matchups between MAC and Sunbelt. When you get an opponent that is added in the middle of the season and you don't know who it is until a couple of weeks early, and you're in the throes of your own conference, what kind of considerations have to be made?
Well, at that time, I plan on being pretty good, right?
Sure.
So we hope we're playing really well, so that means we're probably going to have a MAC opponent that is also playing really well. But then it's really never about them. It's about, enforcing our will onto our opponent. So our pace of play, our defensive pressure, and because we're not going to have a lot of time to figure out who we're playing. And so now I want them to be able to adapt to our style versus us trying to adapt to who we're playing against.
Not too long ago, when this came out news-wise over the weekend, but just a couple of hours ago, the GHSA made it official that high school athletes in this state can now profit off themselves through name, image, and likeness. We just talked with Kyle Vantrease about the Eagle Nation Collective. That's another consideration that you're going to have as a head coach. So how does that prospect creep into what you need to do recruiting-wise and roster management-wise?
You know what? We had a recruit on campus this past weekend, and we just talked about the people in Statesboro. And so with the high schoolers now being able to capitalize off name, image, likeness, it makes it that much more difficult for us as college coaches, but it also allows us to kind of be almost agents, to let them know that we always talk about their brand, their marketing, and that's who they are. And so they're just starting at an early age, and so hopefully it won't be as dramatic when they come to the college ranks. But the people in Statesboro, they're going to help us with that anyway. And so if we can get someone on campus to feel what our recruits feel on a Friday or Saturday, it just helps us recruiting. It's a headache, but you got to change with the times. And so I'm not worried about being frustrated, upset with it. We're going to figure out how we can now help capitalize and be just a mid-major program that's ready for it.
All right, as a South Georgia girl and as someone that is going into her 5th season leading the Georgia Southern women's basketball program, how do you sell what Georgia Southern is to a prospective student athlete?
Yeah, so we play everyone. So we're an up-tempo, and everyone says they're an up-tempo pace team.
Right.
But when you look at the numbers, we're in the top 5th of the country. I think we're 3rd this year in our pace of play. I'm trying to look at my coach here to make sure I'm right. We're 5th. We slowed down a little bit in the WBI. But we're 5th in the nation out of 360-something teams for our pace of play. So not only do we say we play fast, we have the numbers to back it up.
Right.
We play fast. We play everyone. We have fun. So I don't take basketball too serious. We're able to allow them to be students. And the community is just embracing. So the food is different, but it's good. The fans are different, but they're great. And their environment, it's an intimate feel, so you feel like you're actually in a college and not just in a city.
Practice is ongoing. The season begins November the 7th at Hanner against Allen at 6 p.m. Get your tickets, 1-800-GSU-WINS or gseagles.com/tickets. Coach Anita Howard, we appreciate the time. Best of luck to you and the ladies this season.
Thank you, Danny. I appreciate it.
That is head coach Anita Howard. We're talking men's basketball after the timeout. Charlie Henry up to the stage after this from Hail Southern Live. It's Wild Wing Cafe on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. the choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Eagle Nation, this is William Martin from Southern Exchange Company. We're proud to always bring you the best selection of Georgia Southern gear for game day and every day. Make sure to stop by and visit us at our store across from campus on Chandler Road or online at southernexchangecompany.com. Follow Southern Exchange on social media at SXC Statesboro for the latest gear in stock. Southern Exchange Company, the official merchandiser of Georgia Southern Athletics.
It's game day. What do you take to the tailgate? A flat screen TV? Take it to the tailgate. Your wife's favorite blender? A DJ sound system? With a Ford F-150 truck, you can take it all. With available Pro Power onboard that acts like a mobile generator, you can use F-150 to take your tailgate to the next level. See your local Ford dealer and score a great offer on F-150. See owner's manual for important operating instructions.
Don't let an injury keep you on the sidelines. So go where the pros go. Optum Orthopedics. They're the official orthopedics and team physicians for Georgia Southern Athletics. Thanks to Optum, our Eagles get the best care on and off the field. The good news is that Optum is here for you too. Located in our community, Optum is the leader in advanced orthopedic care throughout the Southeast. Like the Eagles, you deserve the freedom to soar. With Optum's fellowship-trained orthopedic surgeons, you will. Your team, your community, your freedom. Optum Orthopedics, they're here for you.
It's a Thursday night blue out at Paulson Stadium as your Georgia Southern Eagles play host to the Georgia State Panthers at 7:30 p.m. on October 26th. Call 1-800-GSU-WINS or visit gseagles.com/tickets. Watch the blue and white inside the prettiest little stadium in America. It's the first ever Thursday night matchup between the Eagles and the Panthers. October 26th, 7:30 kickoff. Visit gseagles.com/tickets to get yours or call 1-800-GSU-WINS.
Hi, this is former quarterback Kyle Vantrease. Name, image, and likeness, or NIL in college sports, is here to stay. We have the opportunity to be one of the leaders in our conference and in the group of five. To keep our championship standard and stay ahead of the rest, we must keep our best players and recruit the best as well. Thanks to the new Eagle Nation Collective, we're in a great position to do just that, but we can't do it without your support. Please help by becoming a member of the Eagle Nation Collective today. Sign up online at eaglenationnil.com and receive exclusive access to our student athletes that you can't get anywhere else. Join the Eagle Nation Collective at eaglenationnil.com.
Hey Eagle fans, this is Jared Benko. Renew your basketball season tickets today to watch Charlie Henry's first season leading the Eagles. Prices start at $100 for general admission and $150 for upper reserve. Reserve yours by calling 1-800-GSU-WINS or visit gseagles.com/tickets. Parking passes this season are also available to Erg Russell Fund donors for $100. Experience Georgia Southern basketball in its final full season at Hanner Fieldhouse. Renew your season tickets today. 1-800-GSU-WINS or gseagles.com/tickets.
Which schools will take home the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup for the 2023-24 college athletics season? You can follow the standings of your favorite school or alma mater at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. That's thedirectorscup.com and L Directors Cup on Twitter. Trophies will be awarded in June 2024 to the winning institutions in all competitive divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
This is Hail Southern Live, powered by Learfield, live at Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Here's Danny Reed.
Great stuff so far this week on Hail Southern Live from Wild Wing Cafe, brought to you by Morris Bank. We've spoken with Kyle Vantrease of the Eagle Nation Collective and our sideline reporter on the Georgia Southern Sports Network. He'll get a couple of weeks off before Eagle football heads to James Madison on October the 14th. It was announced earlier today that will be a noon kick from Bridgeforth Stadium. It will be televised nationally on ESPN2, of course available on ESPN Plus as well. We will begin at 10 a.m. with the Cutwater Spirits tailgate show from the Shenandoah Valley. Also spoke with Anita Howard from Georgia Southern Women's Basketball. In the time we have left, we're talking men's basketball. He's still new to Eagle Nation, so make him feel welcome. Give it up for new men's head basketball coach, Charlie Henry. The debut on HSL. Good to have you, man.
Hey, it's good to be here.
All right, in a little bit of time we've gotten to know you. You've been forming your staff. You've been forming your roster with a little bit that's been coming back and a lot of new blood. How those practices been going so far?
Practice have been really well. We started a week ago today, so entering into our second week of official practice. college basketball gives you a lot of opportunities to practice. So we have been going in the springtime. We got in 7 weeks in the summer where you're allowed 4 hours a week with your team. And then now official practice is kicked off and we're allowed 4 hours a day, 20 hours a week. So it's just going really well. Guys have been getting after it. Obviously, going from 1 hour workouts into a little bit longer workouts. Trying to get them in great shape, and it's not really just physical shape. It's being able to mentally stay present for all 2 hours of practice. Obviously we're challenging them to be locked into what we're doing and having attention to detail with how they do their job.
You've coached the game at the highest level, both in the NBA and in college, having spent the last 4 years with Nate Oates at the University of Alabama, #1 overall seed in the NCAA tournament last year. How will you try to adapt that style which the Crimson Tide used? How can you do that in Statesboro, at least a version of it?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, there'll be a ton of similarities. For those that have, watched our practices at Alabama, they would probably see a lot of similarities. We want to build a foundation of relentless effort. We want our guys playing really hard. So that's got to be there, every day. If we're going to be a hard-playing team, obviously once we start games, we need to be a hard-practicing team. So trying to get them to, give relentless effort, understand that there's always another effort to give. But, obviously it doesn't end there. We're trying to layer it with, high IQ play, obviously playing together, sharing the ball. So, there, I'm a little bit different. Obviously, I had a lot of experience before Coach Oates hired me. I definitely took a lot of things from him. I think he's a tremendous coach, but a lot of similarities and also trying to put my own stamp on it.
Now, having already been a head coach before with Windy City in the G League, how does that give you an advanced perspective on how to be a college head coach?
The G League is a great training ground for players and coaches. As far as coaching goes, the roster flexibility really challenges the coaches. Yeah. You got to be adaptable. Yeah. There may be a game where you got your full roster of players, and then the next game they've called up 2 guys, and you're down 2 guys. So you better not be stuck, with the circumstance. You better, adjust your mindset pretty quick and try to figure out how to put your team in the best position to succeed. So I think it was a tremendous proving ground, tremendous grounds to kind of grow yourself as a coach. I definitely lean on it, go back to that experience often.
As you've gotten to know this team, what has you the most confident and the most optimistic about your group going into the start of the season?
I think the buy-in. We went through 7 weeks in the summer. Monday through Friday, our team ate breakfast together every day, 8 in the morning. So, all of our required team activities, we only had 1 guy late in the summer. He's dealing with a young baby at home, and he showed up 8 minutes late, said he didn't get much rest before. That kind of buy-in.
You can speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, I can for sure. My 2 ones are over there, yeah. So. My wife, I'm glad my wife doesn't have the mic. She would tell me that I haven't missed any sleep. She's the one that misses all of it. But, the kind of buy-in they've displayed, just the changes we put in place and them getting behind it. I also think we have all the tools, physically, athletically, competitiveness-wise, to be a really, really good defensive team. And to me, that sets our floor. Offense is going to be, obviously you want to be good at both ends, but offense is always going to be a little bit dictated in the game of basketball and shot making. There's going to be some games where you don't make as many shots, and your defense kind of keeps your level of play where it's at, where it gives you a chance to win every night, whether shots are going in or not.
Alabama was a team that was known for a distinct style of offense, extremely fast style of offense. They were no worse than 11th in the country in tempo during your 4 years there, but you had the role or the title of defensive guru, the defensive guy. How did you embody that and really make Alabama one of the best teams in the country over the last 4 seasons?
Yeah, I mean, the 2 years we swept through the SEC regular season, obviously SEC tournament, and then making the Sweet 16. We were 3rd in the country in defense both years. So for us, that was it. We were good on offense every year. Teams I was a part of at Iowa State, if you look, we never ranked outside the top 13 in offense. But like I said, the years we built our foundation defensively and stayed with it all year. And obviously, we're elite defensively. We're the championship years.
With this particular group, you've had to build a roster, of course. That's the case for any year. But when you get to look at your squad and see that a Tyron Moore was here last year, he made 59 threes. Carlos Curry was one of the league's better rebounders. He had 4 double-doubles, bringing a Cam Bryant back, Manny Harris, also a Nate Bradford, with the new talent that you've infused. Who can you look to take over games, or is it maybe too early to tell that yet?
Yeah, for sure. That's a great question, Danny. You're putting me on the spot.
Thank you, Charlie.
I like it. It's a great question. Obviously, when it gets late in games, that's something, in the professional deal, you see it every night. Whereas, teams will play each other close for 36 minutes, 38 minutes, and then all of a sudden in the last 6 or 8 minutes of the game, the best players take over.
Yeah.
So, for us, it's obviously, we're establishing that. I think Deuce Dean, from a playmaking experience standpoint, he's a guy that's averaged double figures in college each of the last 3 years. He's also had a year where he averaged 5.8 assists. So, if, you're handing out 6 assists in a college game, obviously you're sharing the ball. So I think it's going to be a little bit of shared responsibility, obviously, between him and Tyron. And then the other thing is, I like to go at matchups. So maybe find their worst defender, find a way to get our best player on their worst defender, and then put 2 on the ball. And then from there, our guys are going to know what to do.
Of the newcomers, we really could spend a lot of time on any of them, but the one that I think Eagle Nation is going to like a lot really early is the ball of muscle, Malik Tidwell. I know he's listed at 5'11", 200. He's so thick for as small as he is. He's going to remind people build-wise of a Tukey Brown. I know you spoke about him during your introductory press conference, but to go find someone like that who can defend, handle, and shoot the ball like he does, how did that relationship get ignited?
Yeah. If Malik's 5'11", I'm 5'11".
Yeah.
So let's just throw that out there. But he's well traveled. He's kind of took the the road less traveled as far as, so to speak. But he's a Chicago kid. If you know Chicago guards, they're generally pretty tough.
Yep.
And I think that's him as well. He played at a high-level prep program at Prolific Prep out in California. We actually had Namari Burnett at Alabama last year, and he's a Chicago kid who played at Prolific as well. So he's well-traveled. He's experienced. He's got a chip on his shoulder, which I like. And as you said, he's tough, he's competitive, but he can really score the ball. Him and Tyron have had some really good battles. Now Tyron's been giving it to him for sure. But Malik, if you look at his shooting splits since summer and fall, he's shooting it at a really, really high clip. So he can get hot, he can score the ball. I'm seeing him as like a microwave 6-man type, obviously, with Tyron as our starting 2 guards. So I think those 2 guys, there's no reason that those 2 guys shouldn't give us some of the best guard play in the league.
Now, last week, as a new staff, a new head coach, a new team, you had a chance to basically present yourselves to a very gracious group of donors at Hanner Fieldhouse. They had a chance to watch a practice. Everybody had a chance to speak with the donors and really get a look at why they get a chance to do what they do. But for someone in your capacity that's trying to guide this program back to its winning ways, how beneficial is an experience like that?
Oh, it's been great. We actually have a group of regulars that come to a lot of practices, but we really opened it up and obviously extended some invites, and we had a blast with it. We have pride in our work. Like we want people to see how hard we're working. Obviously I gotta watch myself. Make sure I'm on my best behavior. But
of course,
the guys have been awesome. The support, we feel it. Like I said, obviously we definitely felt it last week when we had that great turnout. And then just our regulars that keep coming back and offering words of encouragement. I can't tell you how much we love Statesboro and how much we love the good people at Georgia Southern that made myself, my wife, and our 2 kids feel so welcome.
Well, I'm not convinced that Tracy Ham isn't going to be drawing up a play here at some point soon.
Is it going to be a read option or what's it going to be?
He's going to be ended up shooting the ball. I know that.
Tracy's awesome. He's obviously he's our sport oversight, and he's been a regular at our 8 a.m. practices pretty much every day, and he's always he's always echoing the message, carrying the message of the coaching staff, and he's got a great way to get in the guy's ear and get him woken up.
Got about 5 more minutes in this week's episode. We'll continue and wrap things up with men's head basketball coach Charlie Henry. This is Hail Southern Live from Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. We're back after this timeout on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield.
Wild Wing, I think I love you. Hey, Eagle Nation, this is Terry Harvin from the Georgia Southern Sports Network. Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro is your true blue home for hot wings, cold beer, and good times. Owned and operated by a proud Georgia Southern grad, Wild Wing Cafe is the official home of Hail Southern Live, the Eagles' weekly sports show every Monday night starting at 7 p.m. Whether it's for lunch, dinner, catering, or takeouts, you'll say the same thing I do every time. Wild Wing, I think I love you. Go Eagles and go Wild Wing.
Did you know that Yancey Rents is a Georgia-owned rental company serving Georgia since 1914? Yancey Rents has excavators, dozers, backhoe loaders, small dump trucks, water trucks, concrete saws, light towers, scissor lifts, and so much more. We've got a huge selection of equipment ready to be rented today. Call 844-YNC-RENT or check us out at yanceyrents.com. With 16 locations around the state and a new expanded lineup of equipment ready to be rented right now, Yancey Rents wants to be your preferred rental supplier in Georgia. Eagle Nation, we'd love to see you back at Paulson, this time for back-to-back games in 6 days. Join us for homecoming versus ULM, 2 p.m. Saturday the 21st, then Thursday the 26th at 7:30 as the Eagles battle Georgia State. Call 1-800-GSU-WINS or visit gseagles.com/tickets. Watch the blue and white inside the prettiest little stadium in America. That's ULM for homecoming Saturday the 21st at 2 p.m., then Georgia State Thursday the 26th at 7:30. gseagles.com/tickets to get yours or call 1-800-GSU-WINS.
Aw, shucks. The game's on TV, but I can't listen to the call of my favorite team broadcasters.
Never fear, Sync My Game is here.
Sync My Game?
Yes, Sync My Game. If you have a DVR and streaming device, head to syncmygame.com from Learfield. It's never been easier to hear the impassioned voices of your favorite radio crew synced with the TV.
Wow, thank you, Mr.
Just remember, syncmygame.com.
The Eagles fly here.
Intercepted. It's picked off. Condre Jackson to the 30. He outruns Bradley to the 20, to the 10, to the 5. How about that on the second play? Wings up, Eagle Nation. Touchdown, Georgia Southern.
Hail Southern and GATA all season long.
He caught it. He caught it. What a lightning bolt. 79 yards to the jet.
On the Georgia Southern Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey fans, this is Wayne Cook, co-host of College Sports Now. We're breaking down all the action from around the country every week with new episodes dropping 4 days a week during the football season. We'll look beyond the box score and keep our finger on the pulse of college football from September all the way to the national championship game in January. Listen all season long on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you'd love to get your podcasts. And be sure to follow along on Twitter at CSNowTweets.
This is Hail Southern Live, powered by Learfield, live at Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Here's Danny Reed.
Just a few minutes left in this week's edition of Hail Southern Live, brought to you by the Savannah Hilton Head International Airport. Visit them online, flysav.com, the official airport of Georgia Southern Athletics. Closing things out with men's head basketball coach Charlie Henry. Appreciate the time this week from Kyle Vantrease of the Eagle Nation Collective. Also women's basketball head coach Anita Howard. They get their season going on November the 7th at home against Allen at 6 p.m. at Hanner. Coach, you got an exhibition coming up in 18 days against a really good Augusta University team. That's your preseason tune-up before things start on the 6th up at Georgia Tech.
Yeah, for sure. So obviously we wanted to give fans an opportunity to see us in an exhibition game. Augusta's a really, really good team. Their coach does an awesome job. He's actually been at visited practice, and I had a great talk with him, sit down with him. But he's a tremendous coach. He runs one of the best Division II programs in the country. Obviously, they were 27-6 last year, so it's going to be a great look. And then we're going to have a chance to kind of regroup from there, and we will. It's not supposed to be public knowledge, but I'm with all friends, so we will scrimmage Sanford. Who obviously is coming off, having won their regular season.
Sure.
So we're going to get 2 great looks, obviously, before we open up with Georgia Tech, which are going to just be great opportunities for our guys to play against 2 good teams and obviously, you know, play to win. You know, with that said, I'm sure, you know, there'll be some stuff we got to clean up afterwards and learn from, get better from.
Be the second time in 3 seasons that Georgia Southern plays at McCamish Pavilion. That'll be Monday night on the 6th to take on the Yellow Jackets. They've got a first-year staff as well. Damon Stoudemire takes over as head coach. That's someone you've known for a number of years too.
Yeah, I actually, you know, I was recruiting in the Northeast last year, and I visited, you know, me and Coach Oates actually visited Boston for training camp a couple days. So Damon was on staff, and he's a really great guy. He did an unbelievable job at Pacific. So I know they're going to be well coached. They've obviously added some pieces in the portal. So, you know, got a couple opportunities before that, but we'll definitely be ready for them.
Now, schedule-wise, this doesn't do you a whole lot of favors. You've got that 3-game showcase up in Greenville, hosted by East Carolina. 9 of your first 10 games are going to be away from Hanner. 14 of your first 17 games are non-home games. How do you have to prepare your guys for all that moving around?
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge. Obviously, you know, ideally in the future we'll play more home games.
Yeah.
You know, when I got here, we didn't have any games scheduled, so obviously we were scrambling. You know, kind of already trying to lay foundation for future schedules and getting more home opportunities to play in front of our great fans is obviously really important to me. But we wanted to play a great schedule. And, you know, we had some things come together late, some road games, Georgia Tech being one, where we felt like it was too good to pass up. We also wanted to have a very regional schedule.
Yeah.
So, you know, you've seen that, you know, North Florida, Jacksonville. You know, we really want to play teams that are close by. I think it makes sense for a multitude of reasons.
Coach, we appreciate the time. It's been great getting to work with you and the staff. Continued success and have a great 2023.
Awesome. Thank you, Danny.
For head coach Charlie Henry, head coach Anita Howard, Kyle Vantrease, and Chris Affolter back in our studios. Danny Reed signing off from Wild Wing Cafe. Enjoy the bye week. We're back with you next Monday with Georgia Southern football. Getting ready for James Madison. We'll do it then, 7 o'clock on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield.